Hate Story is a 2012 Bollywood drama erotic thriller film directed by Vivek Agnihotri and stars Paoli Dam, Gulshan Devaiah and Nikhil Dwivedi in the lead roles. This is it, guys. I finally finished Hate Story, and at the time of this recording is also when I heard the news that Jayaprakash Reddy has passed away. I will be doing a review in his tribute, and since I already done his last movie, which was Sarileru Nikebaru, I'll do the previous movie in which he has done. Hopefully a good movie. I'll choose something or the other and then I'll move on to another franchise. If you're hearing any noises, it's because outside right now there's heavy rainfall with thunder and lightning, so you might hear some of that noise in here. Hate Story, what can I say that hasn't been done before? This one's directed by Vivek Agnihotri and not Vishal Pandya, so I'm kind of glad that somebody else actually started Hate Story, and with Vikram Bhatt as the writer and producer for this film. Vikram Bhatt is like one of those people for me that actually has a good concept in mind, but when he tries to execute those those ideas in paper or in film, it always somehow backfires. That's the same with Hate Story. The movie starts off very, very dull. There's nothing that actually grips you into watching this. If I wasn't reviewing this movie, you know for a fact that I would never have done any of these films. It's just that I started the channel with 4 and I'm a bit of a completionist, and I have to finish off ABCD also right now since I did a street dancer. But that's beside the point. Now, coming off of performances, Paoli Dam and Gulshan Devaiah are like, how do I describe these people? Paoli Dam is one of the stupidest women I've seen on this planet. Her motivation to go into prostitution is like, I didn't even feel like she earned that. There wasn't even any depth to any of her decisions, and it just sort of happens. Like tragedy strikes, her next logical decision is to become a prostitute. You don't get any kind of depth or a gripping motivation as to why she wanted to pursue that and the consequences that you had to face because of it. Gulshan Devaiah is a fucking cartoon in this movie. You replace him with Tom or you replace him with Spike, you will get the exact same character. He's basically a cartoon. He's there only to yell or be stupid. At bare minimum, in Hate Story 3, which I still believe is the most entertaining Hate Story of the series or of the installments, it's the most entertaining, and at least in that, at least Gulshan Grover had somewhat of a businessman-like, look to him. You can see from his mannerisms and everything that he is a businessman with a very odd request. In here, you don't really feel that. Gulshan Devaiah just looks like a cartoon who is way out of place in this as a CEO of this large industry. And as a villain, he is one of the worst. The movie makes an effort for him to do something, but he never actually directly do anything in this film. Nikhil Dwivedi is one of the highlights of the film for me. He's the only one who actually has a character. He's the only one I actually cared about in this entire film, which is kind of sad considering this is a woman-centric film. You would get why he's acting like this. He's the only sensible character in this entire film. He's the only voice of reason for Paoli Dam's character, and he says exactly what I was thinking, so there you go. That's another positive which I can say. And there's a small scene which happens at the last 30 minutes in which he actually kinds of being very entertaining, and the last 30 minutes is where the film really elevated itself, because none of the other Hate Stories I would really classify as a thriller, especially the fourth one. I made actually a table from just Microsoft PowerPoint which kind of shows what the Hate Stories are best at. The 2 has very good story compared to all the hate stories. 3 is by far the most entertaining. 4th is the worst of the hate stories, and this hate story has a very good concept which was just executed badly. That's what I can say right now. Like, the last 30 minutes is when the movie really had any kind of energy to it. It really feels like you were watching a thriller. You can really see the directorial style differences between Vishal Pandya and Vivek Agnihotri in this film. Like, Vivek actually knows the concept of a thriller, and you can see that in the last 30 to 40 minutes of the film. There's a love story angle with Nikhil Dwivedi, which I feel was completely unnecessary considering what happens with Paoli Dam at the end. I don't know why that was even added, maybe to add somewhat of a shock value when it actually happens, but to me, it just felt like you wanted to end on something strong, but it just felt unearned. The ending is actually the worst aspect of this movie. The absolute worst, and this is coming from a movie which has which is itself is a bad movie. And the songs aren't really that strong either. I really didn't care for any of these songs. And then again, it was better than Hate Story 4, which was mostly remakes, and that too bad remixes of songs. In this one, I feel like there are some originals to it. It's just that there was no impact. I say the second one has the better songs, Hate Story 2, but it's not all bad. It's just that there isn't anything to it. And the character which I love the most is the villain's father, like Gulshan's father character in this film. Saurabh Dubey as the villain's father. Wow, he is the best character in this film, although I kind of feel like he could have had a better casting than Saurabh Dubey, because he didn't really feel that all that intimidating. He has that kind of a presence where whenever Gulshan Devaiah comes to meet him, or whenever he's in the same room as him, he actually has a stutter which happens. It's supposed to show that he's actually scared of his dad, but he has no intimidating presence to him. I feel like someone on the level of Prakash Raj or someone else could have done this role a bit more justice than what was actually portrayed here, but it's fine. I like the character anyway. And so because of all this, that I'm giving Hate Story a 4 out of 10, except the last Hate Story. Everything else is just below average for me. But then again, as I mentioned before, all of these hate stories have somewhat of a remarkable thing in them, compared to others. Except the 4th one. 4th one is horrible. Never go for the 4th one, even if it is available on Amazon Prime. Just don't watch that. In fact, I really suggest all of you to just not watch any of these. Maybe watch the 3rd one, and this one, or the 2nd one. You won't feel that much for any of these anyway, so it's just like a one-time watch kind of a movie. By the way, don't go into this expecting 3 Idiots level of masterpiece films. Trust me, if you're going into it expecting that, you are doomed. You're going to get your heart broken. Let me tell you. I kind of knew what I was getting into when I watched the first Hate Story, which was the 4th one. So don't go into it expecting that. And if you follow that, you'll be fine. And that's all for my review of Hate Story. And thank God I'm finally done with all these films. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I can finally go back to watching actual good movies. There are some new films that released, and I'm planning on reviewing it. So I guess I'll see you in those videos. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Please share this video with your friends and comment below what you thought of this movie. And let me know if you watched all the Hate Stories, and if you did, what was your favorite of the 3? Which Hate Story did you like the most? Let me know in the comments below, and really, I'm very curious. Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon too, so that you'll be notified of my videos. I'll see you in the next one, which will be of a new film, a September release. I actually was planning on watching V, so you might see that next, who knows. Anyways, I'll see you in that video. Bye.